How's it going, guys? This is Ironhide again for another video. This video mainly is just going to be covering some real generalizations of Clan Wars, um, some real basic things about Clan Wars, some how-tos type stuff, advice for new uh, people that are getting into Clan Wars for the first time, or maybe even new callers, just general information um, for and about Clan Wars that may be helpful to people out there because you never really see anything about Clan Wars on YouTube. So I want to change that. Um, or you'll any guides you see out there for any. You know what, Mike? One of the main reasons why I started making videos is because a lot of these guys that are really popular with their YouTube with their guides on World of Tanks and whatnot, they're actually trash. Their stats really suck, and they're just in my opinion, are not the most qualified people to be giving all this masterful advice about all this different stuff. Uh, that's the main reason I make these videos is just because I would watch them and I'm like, what are you talking about? That is completely wrong. Anyways, enough about that. What we have here, guys, is an actual clan war match of me and my clan and whatnot. Um, and we're on this map swamp. Um, anyway, right now we got a bit before the action starts. Some of my videos I actually just record live, um, and real simple. I not don't even need to copy or edit or anything. Just bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, and that was it. Um, on this video, this is a recorded video though, so I do know what's coming up and whatnot. So, anyways, we got a little bit before the action starts. I want to cover some of the basic things for Clan Wars. Um, One, obviously, need a team of 15. You need tier 10 tanks. You got to have a caller. You got to have soldiers that can listen to your caller. Um, One of the debates I hear a lot in Clan Wars about which specific tanks are good, which specific tanks are bad, da 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 da. IS-7's past its prime, IS-4's trash, don't bring this tank, you want to bring all these tanks. You know what, I disregard most of that, okay? You see my lineup here. I've got some tanks that are, universally thought excellent, like the Waffentrager, the Batchats, the 57s. But then you see, I also got IS-7s. In my experience, most tanks do have a place in one situation or another. So whenever you're preparing a battle, any prospective callers out there, anything, really think about what you need your tank to do, and then the tank that would do that specific task best. Okay. Um, in this situation where the IS-7s, I need them specifically to push along a certain area, and that they will be taking fire from is why I chose IS-7s. Um, and I use IS-4s even in different maps, different situations. Uh, so disregard a lot of that nonsense you hear out there about this tank's over the hill or that one or da 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 da. There's only very few tanks that I really do not take to Clan Wars. There's like I think like two, and that is probably the FE 4202 I don't take, and I don't take the Jagdpanzer E100. In my opinion, the 183 does a better job with almost the same reload, um, and it's quicker and whatnot. So what's the purpose of the Jagdpanzer really? And the FE 4202, the main reason we don't take that is because it doesn't have a high pin gold round. So why would I want to bring a medium that has a lower pin round? Okay, so that was just a little bit about tanks. Obviously, a couple of things you want all your crews to have. You want everybody that goes into Clan Wars to have Sixth Sense, regardless of what tank they're in. Every tank that's every person that's in Clan Wars, you want to have Sixth Sense. It's extremely important. Just make sure that you're trying to push for your guys to get that. Um, then a couple of tactics of Clan Wars. I'm just going to give some advice. This is all just my opinion of how I do things, but it's really worked well for me. Um, and again, this is I'm part of the Enjoy clan. We're top 10 clan on the North American server. So if you're newer to this, you can adapt these to your own or take what you like or whatever. I use a couple of different types of commands. I use one of the commands I use is called engage. So I'll say group alpha engage such and such. And when I say that, what I want them to do, and they already know this, but what the engage command is I want the tanks to do what my tanks are doing now. They set up in a position that favors their tanks, hold down and whatnot, and they're just gonna engage the enemy. So there's the bad guys, shoot at them, try to knock them out. Uh, but that's it. I don't want them going over there. I don't want them falling back. I want them just to create a firing line pretty much and shoot the bad guys. So that's what the engage command is. What I use that for. Another command I use very often, obviously, is push. When I tell a group of tanks to push, and it has to be a really clear distinction between these commands. Okay. So when I say, Group Bravo push into such and such, what I need them to do is literally drive their tanks into the enemy. So when I say such and such push, that means no waiting around a rock, no playing peekaboo, no doing this hold down. Is that when it's time to push, literally drive into them, ram them, overwhelm them, kill them, you know, right away. No stopping. It's an instant type thing. And the reason why we do this, and it's a lot different than pub matches, is because oftentimes I'll have a force of, let's just say, 8 heavy tanks and the enemy has 4. And so I have an opportunity to take out these tanks quickly. But I have to do it before the enemy realizes their mistake. And I got to get these tanks dead before the enemy can either move them or reinforce them or get a lot of like TDs in the back to cover them, whatever the situation may be. That's why I would order a push, is because I need to overwhelm them quickly before the enemy can react. And so that's why we do pushes. And so that's important for that first tank. Yeah, he might take a hit, but it doesn't matter. We're going to end up killing these 4 tanks. And so I'll trade a few hits for a 4 or 5 tank loss on the enemy side any day. That's how you win Clan Wars. Um, Obviously, right now what I'm doing is in this Clan War match, for instance, uh, I'm just pretty much keeping my E5s and 57s on this little ridge, covering, having the bat chat spot stuff. And you see my little IS7 group are going to be pushing up, and the fun will start shortly. Um, Another very, very important thing in Clan Wars, guys, is focus fire. It's probably the most, either most important or second most important skill to have, for your guys to have. Having your large groups of tanks to all focus on one target is very important. A team that is focus firing will win every single time against a team that is not. Um, with focus fire, you can overwhelm uh, superior tanks, superior firepower, or whatever, just because you're all focusing one at a time. You can get a group of autoloaders like these 57s we have here, have them all focus fire a target. I mean, you can literally kill a target in just a few seconds, and it is really devastating to the enemy. They really just can't stand up to it, and that is the number one difference, I think. Simping as well, but we'll go into that in just a second. Simping and focus fire really is what separates the best clans on the server for the not so good clans on the server. That's the main difference, is the focus fire and the simping. Okay, now simping's the next thing I wanted to cover. Simping is when let's say my tank has gotten shot up, right? And I'm low on hit points. Well, you want to preserve the gun. You want to keep that gun in the game. So what needs to happen, if I get low on hit points, I need somebody else to pull in front of me and start taking the hits that would have otherwise killed me. That way I can keep my gun in the game. I can, having a gun with that, a tank with 1 hit point that is still firing his gun from 300 meters away or whatever is 1,000 times obviously more effective than a tank that's dead. And so that's another very key skill, is to get your guys just to automatically simp. If you're whenever you platoon with people and whatnot, it's a get into a habit of, even in a little 3-man platoon, that when one guy starts taking damage, have someone else pull up and simp for him. Boy, look at that Waffentrager. Boy, those things are just, the firepower of those tanks is awesome. You look at that. It took that single Waffen uh, just a few seconds to almost kill me. If me and the other 57 there hadn't been dumping our clips on him, he would have got me. Uh, look at the fun starts. Obviously, you could see in this match, in particular, we're winning so heavily because we're focus firing on the enemy, and they are, obviously at this point, they're not. Um, and this was actually kind of a strange match because we were actually defending, and the enemy was attacking us, but they turtled up, which made no sense to me whatsoever. I don't know how they planned on winning if, you know, they had to come to us to win, but whatever. That's another thing, I don't really like in Clan Wars is turtling. In my experience, against an experienced caller, against a team that is turtling, they almost always lose. If you give me map control, which is very important, if you give me control over the majority of the map, by doing a little turtle at your base or whatever, like these guys are doing, I can go and engage you from any direction. You're giving up such a huge advantage to the enemy. Um, if I was going to do some sort of turtle strat, I would first focus on taking and holding key areas of the map. Map control is another thing it's very important. You definitely do not want to give teams access to 80% of the map and then hope to try to hold the remaining 20, because it's just not practical. Um, these guys are now being attacked on virtually every side, and there's just no way that they could possibly survive this. Um, they've given up way too much map control. They've not focus fired, etc., etc. Let's see some other things I wanted to cover for Clan Wars. Um, Guys, another thing I wanted to cover is when you switch between tanks. I know, because of tank locking and whatnot, you might be driving a Waffen right now, and then the next match you might be driving an Echo 5. And when you switch between your different tank roles, really switch your mindsets. You know, each thing you got to have a different mindset, and really know your goals that you have to accomplish in each tank that you're in. Me, I tell my heavy tank drivers, if you're in a heavy tank, you need to be the mad dogs of the match. I want y'all to be aggressive. I want my heavy tank drivers that when I say, hey, go kill these guys, I want them to want to go kill those guys. I want them to just be waiting for it. They're like dogs on the leash. They just want to be unleashed so they can go kill them. Scout tanks drivers. Scout tank. A big thing I see scout tank drivers doing wrong with a lot of clans and clan wars is they'll get callers will sometimes give them a pre-designed path to take, and the scout tank driver will actually focus on just driving the little path, and he's not actually doing any scouting. So for all you scout tank drivers out there in clan wars, your purpose is to give the caller of the battle information. That's the main thing. You need to give your caller information so he can make his decisions based on the information you're giving him. The more information I get when I'm calling fights, um, the better the decision I can make. So when you're going out on these scout runs, really, I mean, you have got to light up these tanks. You've got to give me the movements of where the enemy is at, so I know how to counter them, so I know where to engage them, um, and whatnot. It's extremely important. Another thing I want to cover: artillery. If you don't have a shot on an enemy, I mean, this should be very basic. If you don't have a shot on an enemy tank, then move. By all means, if you can move to a different location of the map that is most likely safe, then do so. Move, get the shots needed, keep your gun firing. never really just sit there. I think I have very, very good arty players, um, and they will do not wait for anything. If they can't get a shot, they're moving. Um, so that's very important. What else did I want to go over? And guys, if anybody has any requests for anything they want me to cover, anything whatsoever World of Tank related, if you would just put it in the comments, I will actually make a video based on whatever y'all want to see. Um, I haven't had a video come out in a while, mainly because I've been unsure of what kind of topic to cover. And again, I'm the DC, excuse me, I'm the DC in charge of Clan Wars for Enjoy, so I'm also kind of busy doing all that. But when I have time, I am going to try to get more videos out more often. Just try to let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll try to make it happen. Um, so see now in this match, they are totally screwed. Right now it's that they've lost everything but two. I suspect two already, and we haven't lost any tanks at all. Um, and this was actually the match from the night before last. Is the one I pulled this out. Tonight I actually didn't have any Clan War matches, so that's why I'm making this video. I had the time to. And it's about to be over. They're obviously done for. I can't really think of anything else again because this video here I'm just doing live with I didn't make any notes or anything. This is just some of the things that I wanted to cover off the top of my head. Um, oh, okay, some other things I wanted to cover real quick. Um, Tanks and whatnot. Whenever you're pushing an area or defending an area, um, having smart tankers is absolutely crucial. And not being so rigid with the locations that you want people of, right? Um, don't be so rigid that you say, "Oh, you have to stay in this spot." Trust your tanker's skills. And for all you soldiers out there, if you're in a position set up and you know your task is to either take this area or defend this area, and the enemy is coming at you in a certain way, um, where it's very obvious that maybe moving a little bit over this way or moving a little bit over that way or moving over here or there will obviously give you a huge advantage. You should be just doing that. You shouldn't wait. Um, if you're gonna die sitting in your position, if you could move 40 meters to your left and survive and still accomplish your goal, then you absolutely need to be doing that. Never just sit there because of an order to hold that position. When you can, as long as you accomplish your goal, by all means. If you have a different location you can move to that's more opportune for you, by all means do so. Don't just sit there. Whenever you're attacking through a city or whatnot, and you're told to go up X lane or whatever, but you see an opportunity where you could go around this little road and get flank shots or whatever on the enemy, by all means take the initiative, uh, and do so. It could really turn the tide of the battle. You don't know. Um, Another thing about pushing. I want to be very clear to all the soldiers out there. I know how callers can be when like a group of tanks push and perhaps either the push fails or whatever. Just remember that if when you're driving your tank, all you soldiers out there, um, if you are ordered to push into the enemy tanks and you push into them and you die, it's okay. Uh, if you die or the push is not successful, it's on the caller. Okay. Um, if he tells you to push though, and you just still sit behind the rock and you lose, then it is on you. So when it comes to time to push. Don't worry about dying. It's gonna happen in clan wars. It's unavoidable. I don't care who you are, what clan you're with. It's gonna happen. So just go ahead and push. If you die, don't worry about it. It's on the caller. It was his job to make sure that he set you up in a good position where you push into an inferior force with a superior force, or you push into a force from multiple directions, or whatever the case may be. There could be 1,000 different things, um, and hopefully you have to have faith in your caller to really know what's going on and to trust in his judgment. Uh, so I can't think of anything. This video is going on 20 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off for now. Again, if you want to see anything else, anything World of Tanks related, just let me know. Again, it's Ironhide from the Enjoy Clan. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my videos, my channel. Um, if you want to share this with this video with anybody, please go ahead and do so. The more subscribers I get, and the more views I get, and whatnot, the more videos I'll crank out. So, by all means, share this with anybody and everybody. And thank you for watching.